Unit 1, Lesson 1, Two Kinds. The whole unit is about generation. Young people often learn from older people, but sometimes it works the other way around. So here we have a unit opener, Grounded, which is about the relationship of a grandmother and a granddaughter. Here we have essential question: what can one generation learn from another? The famous Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi said, learn as if you want to live forever. You are always learning from peers as well as from teachers, parents and relatives. You will work with your whole class to explore ways in which generations can learn from each other. This is our story. It is a novel excerpt, Two Kinds, from the Joy Luck Club and written by Emiten. Genre elements of this story is literary fiction. Two Kinds is primarily a work of literary fiction which places emphasis on the quality of writing, character development and exploration of complex themes. Emiten's prose style and her focus on the internal thoughts and emotions of protagonists contribute to the literary nature of the story. Coming of age. The story revolves around the journey of a protagonist, Jingmi, as she navigates her identity and sense of self in the context of a relationship with her mother. It explores her growth and maturation as she tries to discover her talents and reconcile her desires with her mother's expectations. Number 2, it is a family drama. Two Kinds delves into intricate dynamics of the mother-daughter relationship. It explores the conflicts, expectations, and misunderstandings between Jingmi and her mother as they navigate cultural differences and generational gaps. The story highlights the complexities and tensions within the family unit. Cultural identity. The story touches upon themes of cultural identity and assimilation. Jingmi's mother, an immigrant from China, holds onto traditional Chinese values and expectations, while Jingmi, as a second-generation Chinese American, grapples with her own sense of identity and the pressure to conform to American ideals. Conflict and resolutions. Two Kinds presents a central conflict between Jingmi and her mother as they have differing views on talent and success. The conflict builds throughout the story, leading to a climactic moment where Jingmi rebels against her mother's expectations. The resolution comes in the form of Jingmi's realization about her own worth and acceptance of her unique identity. Symbolism. Emiten employs symbolism in the story. For example, the piano symbolizes Jingmi's mother's hopes and dreams for her daughter's success, while the sheet music represents the expectations placed upon Jingmi. The story's title, Two Kinds, refers to the two different perspectives of Jingmi and her mother, highlighting the generational and cultural divide. These genre elements work together to create a poignant and introspective narrative that explores themes of identity, family, and pursuit of individuality within the context of cultural expectations. What can you see in this picture? Looks like a woman is very upset about something. Yeah, you guessed right. It is lament. If you are really upset or sorry about something, you might lament it. A lament is full of regret and grief. Here, what can you see? It seems like a mother is holding her son from ear, or a grandmother, and the other person is making fun of him. Yes, you guessed right. It is indignity. And indignity is something embarrassing. And indignity is usually something that happens to us rather than something we do ourselves, like insult. What can we see here? It seems like mother is scolding or she's explaining something important to the child. Here in this picture seems the same. Reproach. Reproach is express criticism toward. The president reproached the general for his irresponsible. Other forms. Reproach means to mildly criticize. If you show poor manners at your grandmother's dinner table, she will reproach you. What can we see here? Seems like two people have different opinion. One says good and another one doesn't look happy at all. Discordant. If you believe that movies should entertain but your friend insists that movies should inspire, then the two of you hold discordant views on the purpose of movies. That means your opinions are in conflict. What can we see here? Two sisters are fighting over the toy. Couple is arguing. You guessed it right. It's a squabble. A squabble is a fight, but not necessarily a serious one. Sometimes people squabble upon bad issues. When we squabble, we have little argument, probably about something not too important. What can we see here? A woman. And here in the picture another woman, and both look really upset. So the situation is disastrous. Devastated. If a storm devastates your town, it comes pretty close to destroying it. It means that a great disaster that makes you very upset. The summary of Two Kind. In Emittent's excerpt, Two Kind's 9-year-old Jingmei faces pressure to be great from her immigrant mother. Mrs. Wu watches child geniuses perform feats that makes them famous. She wants Jingmei to become famous too. At first, Jingmei shares her mother's hopes, but soon she realizes she may never be the talented child of her mother's dream. She begins to resent her mother's effort. However, when Mrs. Wu watches a Chinese child pianist on television, she thinks she has found the perfect activity for Jingmei. As the story continues, Jingmei and her mother both learn to understand each other's point of view. Now, what to notice after reading this story? We have to notice whom the story is about, what happens when and where it happens, and why those involved react as they do. In addition, by making vocabulary and key passages you want to revisit. Then we have connect. Connect the ideas within the selection to what you already know and what you have already read. Respond by completing the comprehension check and by writing a storyboard of the selection. Here we have few questions. In what ways does the mother pressure her daughter to change? She pressures her daughter to become a child prodigy. First, she pressures the daughter to become an actress. Next, she pressures her to learn facts in order to appear on television. Then she pressures her to become an accomplished pianist. How does the mother arrange for her daughter to take piano lessons? The mother exchanges house cleaning services for piano lessons from Mr. Chong. How does the narrator prepare for the talent show? The narrator practices as little as she can for the talent show. She purposely makes no effort. And because Mr. Chong is deaf, and cannot hear how well she's playing, he doesn't notice. What happens when the narrator performs at the talent show? The narrator's piano performance at the recital is terrible, and no one applauds except Mr. Chong. What happens to the piano at the end of the story? The mother gives the daughter the old piano. The daughter has it tuned and plays the same song that she played at the talent show. That was about today's story. Thanks for watching. See you some other time.